Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we've been doing quite a lot with backgrounds and things because they're very easy at the moment. You don't need to invest in a lot of supplies and things. We all have some inks, we all have some sponges, and it's a sort of thing that's quite easy to do. So I thought with that in mind that we would do another one using these three colours. So I've got Night of Navy, Gorgeous Grape and Mossy Meadow. And I've got the coordinating sponge daubers. I have sponge daubers for each one. That's just how I work. So you can use sponges. If you haven't got sponges or daubers, just use a little bit of kitchen sponge and just sort of, you know, snip it up with a pair of scissors. Okay, so we are taking a piece of... and in fact I'm going to do it on the grid paper. So we're taking a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 3.5 inches by 5 1/4, but whatever your standard card base is, it really doesn't matter whatever size card you're doing. And I'm just putting it in on here, although in reality you don't need to do it absolutely perfectly like that. You can do it so you're matching it grid to grid if you want it perfectly. You know me, I tend to sort of do it a bit on the fly. So I'm just going to put a piece of copy paper underneath to protect it. And we need some repositionable tape. So we don't want tape that is going to be too sticky. I've actually de-tacked it off my clothes and we're going to take it on the corner like this. And you just need to make sure that you're going to do the same angle each time. So we're going to start with the Night of Navy. And we're literally just sponging through in a line like that. You can do it as dark or as light as you want. And then we are going to take the tape up. We're going to turn the tape round so we're using the same edge, and we're going to mask this piece and we're going to leave a gap. So that's where it would be masked completely. You want to move it down, and again you can do them at different angles. So I'm just going to get it as straight as I can with a little bit of a gap, and then get my other tape and I'm going to get a little bit bigger piece like this. Now you can do them as small or as large as you want. So this is going to be with, straighten that up again, the Gorgeous Grape. So I'll put the Gorgeous Grape out on here. In fact, I'll try and get all of them out together once I start going. So Gorgeous Grape, and again you are just going to sponge over. It's entirely up to you how dark you want to make it. You can make it really dark or you can make it quite light. But as I say, just sponge that up. And then we'll take the top piece, remove that down carefully. And then we're going to put that down. So I'm turning it round, and we need to take this one off, which is the purple. Turn it round, and I'm only doing it turning round so that we then are using the same side on it. And again, just leave a little gap. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect gap size. And then we're going to do the next one, which is going to be in the green, and I'm going to do a little tiny thin one for the green. So we've got different lengths and different sizes. That sort of gives us the banner look that we want. So with this, I'm just taking the Mossy Meadow and running that one through. Okay, so we can then take this one up Just pull it through. And take that one and pull that through. Okay, so we now want to go on to the so that's our green one, so we can have the green one in on here with the purple, and again just leave a little bit of a space. Entirely up to you how much you want to leave. Take that down, and then we're going to start on the blue again. So I'm going to do a reasonably big bit of blue, I think, on here, and then sponge that. Oh, that's quite dark. I did that on there. I'll have to do that all quite dark then. You can do all sorts of geometric patterns and things. This is just a very simple, straightforward stripe, but it does look quite good. And I'm just making sure that I've got this all the way down. You have to excuse my little dog. The neighbour has just come home, and his dogs always bark quite a bit. Okay, so that's that one. Then we need to go through to the purple, so let's turn this one round that way. So we've got that on there, and I'm going to just do a tiny little piece between here. Oops, make sure you try and get it as even as you can. And then we'll put the we're doing purple, aren't we? So I'm going to put the purple one down here, and again I'm going to give a reasonably big stripe on this one. So let's take the purple, you probably will need to change over the tape after each one, because you will start to get, particularly with the Night of Navy, I've just seen that it's it will sort of bleed through a little bit, so I think you have to be a bit sort of careful with that one. Where it's purple on the same purple, you're all right, but on the one at the top you need to be just a little bit careful. So put that one down. So that's our purple. Take that one off. And then we're going to do the the green again, so we need to mask off the purple with the purple, which is on there, plus a little bit of a gap. In fact, we should do it with the green, shouldn't we, because we're going to be doing green now. So I'm just going to put that with a little bit of a gap in on here, like that. And then that's going to give it a bit too much of a purple bit, and as I say, the green one I'm having as a thin stripe, so I can put that down there. It might go a little bit blue with the blue on there, but we'll have to see. So let's just run that across. That's our green, like that. And then we need, after green, we want the Night of Navy again, so we can put this one with a little bit of a gap in here. Like that. And then a fairly big one, I think, for the Night of Navy. So you can do your stripes as big or as small as you want, depending what sort of look you want. Night of Navy, make sure I put it in the right one. tape. I've found this tape, which is, it's some tape I've had for a long time, which is why it's quite good, because it's not too tacky. I do find that you know, washi tape and things like that, you have to be very careful with it. If you're used to using that, then that's absolutely fine, but I do find that it can be a little bit over tacky, and then it can tear your paper. So use something that you know is not going to be too sticky on there. So we've got purple, we need our blue, sorry, our purple. So let's put this one in on here with just a little bit of a gap in here. In fact, I might I'm going to put a sentiment in on here, I think, or I might do that afterwards. I'll do that afterwards, I think. So let's just take that one down. Put that down. You have to be careful because the blue will leave little marks. So I'm just trying to be quite careful with that one. This is the purple one we want, isn't it? So let's do purple. Doing a smaller one this time. Let's take it through on the edge. But you can see you don't need to use many supplies at all. You're just doing it quite easily, and as I said, at this time at the moment, I think we're all being fairly frugal with our crafting supplies because we don't know what's happening at the moment with the world and everything. So it's better to be slightly more cautious than not. So we want a little band of green. Oh, I can turn it that way around, can't I, for the green? So let's just put that on there, little tiny bit of a border, little tiny bit of green, like that. That's our green, and then the last, very last one is just going to be, take that off, is just going to be the purple. So I'm just going to take that down to there, just a little bit of a border on there, and then we've got the blue in the corner. So we've matched the blue up with the blue, green, yes. So we can just put this little bit of, whoops, if I just put the blue in the wrong one, I've just put the blue in the green, never mind. I have to do it a bit darker and then it'll come through. So yes, don't mix your sponge daubers up. Okay, so we can take that off, and there you have, let's take those bits out of the way. You've got quite a fun background, which you can then mount on whatever you want. So let's put these out of the way. And I've got a piece of black which will just make it sort of pop like that. You can then put a sentiment in there if you want. You can put a tiny sentiment running through. I'll show you one that I did with the sentiment. But that looks quite nice on the black. Because then, as I say, you can then put a black sentiment down there of some description. Now, I did one earlier on where I left a bigger gap and I just did some sort of little floral-y things coming down like that. So I did it sort of with that sort of take on it. But I leave it up to you. You know, I'm just the idea provider. You know, have a go. You can put your sentiment at an angle down there. You can just put a tiny sentiment running through. so it's not too big. In fact, I would probably use Always Thinking of You, and have it running through with the green in the middle, maybe something like that, or the little A Very Special Day. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm not going to sit and try and decide on there, but it makes a nice sort of striped pattern border, very easy to achieve, and start for any card that you want, and you don't have to do the designer series paper. So thank you so much for watching me as always. Stay safe, stay well. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.